Turn your attention to the one realm that holds all power, your mind. You may look out at the world and see the shapes, the people, and events that seem to govern your life. Yet it is your mind that defines every experience, shaping and transforming your world with each thought. Reality is not something thrust upon you from the outside. Rather, it is a mirror reflecting the contents of your inner world. What you hold within your mind, in your beliefs, and in your imagination shapes every aspect of the life you live. When you look at your world, your circumstances, your relationships, and even your day-to-day experiences, you are not simply observing a random unfolding of events. You are witnessing the outward projection of your innermost thoughts and feelings. The mind is a powerful instrument, endlessly creating from the impressions it holds. Every thought, whether conscious or unconscious, contributes to the canvas of your life. Consider this: nothing you experience happens by mere chance or as the result of forces outside yourself. The people you encounter, the situations you navigate, and the conditions of your life are all expressions of what you carry within. This means that change in the external world must begin within. The universe merely gives form to what your mind entertains, meaning that if you want to alter your world, you must first attend to the world within you. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a fertile field, and every thought you plant grows into a tangible reality. Each thought is a seed that brings forth fruit in the form of your experiences. Hold thoughts of abundance, love, and well-being, and the world reflects them back to you as prosperity, connection, and health. Conversely, thoughts rooted in doubt, fear, or limitation will inevitably grow into obstacles, setbacks, and lack. The world is neutral, a pure reflector. It does not judge or filter what you bring into being. It merely amplifies and projects what you hold within. This understanding of reality opens doors to boundless possibilities. You are not at the mercy of fate or external conditions. Rather, you have the freedom to mold and shape your world simply by shifting the nature of your thoughts and beliefs. Your circumstances are pliable, responding with exquisite precision to what you truly believe is possible for you. The most profound changes occur not from force, but from consciously aligning your inner reality with the desires of your heart. By doing so, you unlock a higher dimension of life that responds to your intentions with a precision that many mistake for coincidence or luck. When you grasp this, you begin to understand the true nature of power. There is no need to struggle against the world, to force things to happen, or to rely on sheer will alone. Instead, allow yourself to focus within. Cultivate thoughts that serve your vision. Act as though the life you seek already exists in the realm of your imagination. See yourself as the person you wish to become. Assume the feelings of joy, gratitude, and fulfillment that accompany your desires, and let them resonate within you. This reality, like a mirror, will take on the shape of whatever you reflect from within. Reality is a response, an echo of your inner state. When you tend to the mind with care and intention, life responds in kind, shaping itself to match the vision you hold. There is no need to search for change outside yourself. It is all within, waiting to be acknowledged, claimed, and embraced. Control over thought is the keystone to crafting a life of intentional creation. While the mind is always active, producing a steady flow of thoughts day and night, few realize that each thought contributes to the structure of their reality. To live deliberately, one must shift from passive thinking to an active, conscious choice of thoughts, for thoughts are the seeds that sprout into the experiences of life. Every experience, every situation that unfolds in the external world has its roots in the thoughts held in the mind. When you consciously guide your thoughts, you begin to take command over the direction of your life. Our minds can wander freely, replaying past events or projecting worries about the future. When left unchecked, the mind can be like an undirected stream, flowing wherever it is guided by habit or circumstance, often shaped by the influences of society or past conditioning. Yet, this autopilot mode can be transformed by a simple yet profound shift by taking conscious control over the thoughts that occupy your mental space. In this state of mindfulness, you become aware of each thought as it arises, asking whether it aligns with the vision of the life you want to lead. Thoughts of doubt, fear, or limitation may come, but with awareness, you have the power to gently redirect them toward thoughts of abundance, love, and possibility. Chosen thoughts are like precise brushstrokes on the canvas of life. Instead of random splashes of color, they create clear, defined images of your desires. For example, if you desire a life of peace and fulfillment, simply thinking about peace occasionally will not create it. Instead, you must consistently hold thoughts of peace. Envision a life where peace is a constant, and imagine how it feels, how it manifests in your daily experiences. This commitment to a specific thought pattern is what ultimately shapes your reality, as the mind begins to attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with that peaceful state. Furthermore, consciously controlling your thoughts requires practice and patience. The mind is accustomed to habitual patterns, and shifting them involves a deliberate effort. However, this is not a struggle, it is a practice of gentle redirection. Each time a negative or limiting thought arises, there is no need for self-criticism. Instead, acknowledge it and then let it go, replacing it with a thought that serves your greater vision. This process is transformative over time. The mind will naturally align with your desired thoughts, making positivity and possibility your default state. By assuming control over your thoughts, you step into the role of creator in your life. You no longer leave your fate to chance, allowing old patterns or fears to dictate the course of your experiences. Instead, you assume full responsibility for your inner state, knowing that as you think, so shall you be. When you consciously focus on thoughts of health, success, love, or joy, you send out an energetic call to the universe that resonates with these qualities. The world, ever responsive, mirrors these energies back to you. Controlling your thoughts, you empower yourself to be the architect of your life. You hold the key to your own transformation, and every thought, carefully chosen, becomes a building block in the reality you wish to create. By becoming the conscious observer and director of your mental landscape, you open the door to limitless potential and begin to experience life as a deliberate and joyful expression of your highest self. Thought is the architect of life, crafting every aspect of your experience with precision and consistency. Every thought you hold, no matter how fleeting, plants a seed in the fabric of your reality, forming the blueprint of your life. Your experiences, relationships, and the opportunities that arise are all products of this intricate design created by your mind. Though often overlooked or underestimated, thoughts have a profound influence, constructing the reality in which you live. To grasp the power of thought as an architect is to recognize that nothing you encounter is without a cause. The circumstances you face, the people you meet, and the challenges or blessings that come your way are not random occurrences. They are manifestations of the mental impressions you cultivate within yourself. Each thought is an energetic blueprint, waiting to be realized in the physical world. This means that your thoughts about health, success, love, and even the self-image you hold are all expressions of the mental architecture you have built. When you view thoughts through this lens, you can see the immense power they carry to influence your destiny. Thoughts shape not only the events in your life, but also the ways in which you perceive those events. The mind filters reality based on the patterns you have set in place. If your predominant thoughts are rooted in optimism, gratitude, and possibility, you will find that even challenging situations seem manageable and filled with opportunities. Conversely, a mind steeped in negativity or fear tends to interpret the world through a filter of limitation and struggle. Thus, thoughts are not passive, idle things, they are active, foundational, shaping both the content of your life and the perspective through which you experience it. Imagine your thoughts as a series of architectural plans. Every thought you entertain frequently becomes more concrete in your mental blueprint, paving the way for physical experiences to follow. If you think persistently about abundance, success, and joy, you strengthen these structures within your life. Soon opportunities, relationships, and situations arise to support these intentions. The mind, like an artist, pulls together the resources of the universe to match the inner blueprint you have created. Taking conscious responsibility for your thoughts is an essential step toward a life of deliberate creation. It means that you are no longer a passive observer, subject to whatever comes your way. Instead, you become the designer, choosing thoughts that align with your highest desires. You no longer let stray or negative thoughts shape your reality unintentionally. Instead, you place each thought intentionally, like an architect building a grand and beautiful structure, knowing that each decision matters in the final outcome. When you understand thought as the architect of life, you realize that every detail of your world is molded by the content of your mind. You become aware that nothing is too small to be influenced by your inner world. In fact, it is in the details of your thinking that your greatest creations are realized. Whether you aspire to happiness, success, love, or peace, each thought, nurtured and consciously chosen, brings you closer to this reality. Thought is the blueprint, the silent architect guiding you toward the life you are continuously constructing. Recognizing the power of thought transforms the way you approach each day. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to engage actively with it, realizing that each moment presents an opportunity to lay a new foundation for the future. With thought as your guide and architect, you possess within yourself the tools to shape a life that reflects your deepest desires and highest aspirations. In honoring this power, you become the master architect of your reality, sculpting life into a form that resonates with the truth of who you are. Your self-concept is the key to transforming your life, for every experience, every outcome, and every aspect of reality is filtered through the beliefs you hold about yourself. Self-concept is the mental framework that defines who you believe you are. It includes your assumptions about your abilities, your worth, your potential, and your role in the world. Often this self-concept is shaped in early life through experiences, influences, and external conditioning. But as these beliefs solidify, they act as invisible boundaries, determining what you think is possible and dictating what you attract into your life. To transform your life, you must start by reshaping this internal framework. The good news is that your self-concept is not set in stone. It is malleable, capable of change, and open to reprogramming. This process begins by identifying the beliefs that no longer serve you. Most people have limiting beliefs that are deeply ingrained beliefs that tell them they are not smart enough, worthy enough, or capable of achieving their desires. These beliefs are often repeated so frequently, both consciously and subconsciously, that they become a part of your identity. But you have the power to rewrite this script, and doing so involves introducing new, empowering beliefs in place of the old ones. To reprogram your self-concept, start by visualizing the person you want to become. Create a clear and vivid mental picture of this new self, the version of you who has already achieved what you desire. Imagine how this version of you thinks, feels, acts, and responds to life. Engage with this vision as if it is already true. The mind does not differentiate between imagination and reality. It accepts the impressions you consistently present. When you repeatedly visualize yourself as this ideal version, you begin to reshape your self-concept, aligning it with a new reality. Affirmations can also play a vital role in this reprogramming. By affirming statements that support your new self-concept, such as "I am confident," "I am deserving of success," or "I am a magnet for opportunities," you imprint these ideas into your subconscious mind. Consistent repetition helps dismantle old, limiting beliefs and replaces them with new, empowering ones. The more you affirm these positive beliefs, the more naturally they integrate into your identity, forming the foundation for a new self-concept. Your self-concept is like a filter through which you perceive the world, and as you reprogram it, you will notice that your experiences begin to shift. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities that once seemed elusive will present themselves, and your actions will reflect your newfound self-assurance. When you hold a strong, positive self-concept, you naturally attract circumstances that confirm your beliefs, reinforcing this new identity in a positive cycle of growth and fulfillment. Reprogramming self-concept is a journey that requires patience and persistence. Old beliefs may resurface, but each moment presents an opportunity to reaffirm the new identity you are cultivating. In moments of doubt, return to the vision of your ideal self and renew your commitment to this new concept. Over time, this new self-concept will become the foundation upon which you build your life. In reprogramming your self-concept, you tap into an extraordinary power to transform your world from the inside out. As you change your beliefs about who you are, life aligns with this new reality, mirroring back the beliefs you hold. This journey of self-concept reprogramming is, in essence, the journey to self-mastery, unlocking limitless potential and allowing you to live as the fullest, truest expression of yourself. Guarding against negative influences is essential for cultivating a life of intention and positivity. Negative influences come in many forms, be it people, environments, thoughts, or media. Each influence that enters your mind has the power to shape your outlook, affect your beliefs, and ultimately influence your reality. Like a gardener protecting their plants from weeds or pests, you must carefully guard your mental space, choosing only those influences that serve to uplift and empower you. It begins with awareness of the types of influences surrounding you daily. Often people allow negativity to permeate their lives simply because they are unaware of its impact. Yet, every interaction, every piece of information, and every experience can either support or hinder your inner vision. For instance, consider the effect of people who consistently dwell on problems, criticize, or speak negatively about life. If you frequently expose yourself to such energy, it subtly infiltrates your mind, lowering your vibration and weakening your sense of purpose. Recognize when these patterns occur and consider whether these interactions align with the vision you hold for yourself. Guarding your mind also involves taking a closer look at what you consume through media and entertainment. The messages embedded in news, television, social media, and even music carry energy that influences your mindset, whether consciously or subconsciously. Violent news cycles, sensationalized gossip, or comparison-driven social media can all feed a negative outlook, heightening fear, jealousy, or discontentment. By limiting or curating what you consume, you maintain control over your mental environment. Choose media that inspires, educates, or aligns with your highest intentions, and notice how your energy and focus improve. Your thoughts are perhaps the most powerful influence of all. Negative thinking patterns can creep in quietly, often disguised as reasonable concerns or habitual doubts. If left unchecked, they begin to shape your self-concept and determine your outlook on life. Be mindful of thoughts that focus on lack, fear, or limitation, and work to replace them with affirmations that reinforce your goals. When a negative thought arises, consciously redirect it towards something constructive or uplifting. For example, if a thought of self-doubt appears, counter it by affirming your capabilities and recalling past achievements. This practice builds mental resilience, strengthening your ability to maintain a positive and empowered outlook even in challenging situations. Guarding against negative influences also involves setting boundaries with others. Some relationships, even if well-meaning, may be draining or unsupportive. It is not about rejecting or condemning others, but rather about honoring your energy and priorities. Politely limiting time with those who bring negativity into your life helps you protect your mental and emotional well-being. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, inspire you, and resonate with the path you are on. Positive relationships can serve as powerful allies, reinforcing your vision and keeping you aligned with your aspirations. The practice of guarding against negative influences is ultimately a commitment to your personal growth and happiness. By protecting your mind from unwanted negativity, you create a fertile environment where positive beliefs and aspirations can take root and thrive. This conscious curation of influences gives you the space to develop a clear, empowered mindset that acts as a solid foundation for all that you wish to create in life. When you take control of what enters your mental world, you find that life reflects this positive focus back to you. Opportunities align, energy increases, and obstacles diminish as you cultivate an inner space free from negativity. Guarding against negative influences is not about avoidance, but about deliberately choosing to surround yourself with that which serves your highest purpose. As you strengthen this practice, you become both the protector and creator of your reality, shaping a life filled with meaning, joy, and limitless possibility. In conclusion, remember that your mind is the foundation of everything you experience in life. Each thought you hold, each belief you nurture, and each influence you allow shapes the reality that unfolds around you. By consciously directing your thoughts, reprogramming your self-concept, and guarding against negative influences, you become the architect of a life aligned with your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Embrace this power within and live as a deliberate creator, knowing that the world around you will always reflect the world within you. Thank you for allowing me to share this message with you. Imagine for a moment that money no longer dictates your choices, your actions, or your aspirations. Pause and ask yourself, what if money was no object? How would you live? What would you pursue? And who would you become? Your imagination is the creative force behind everything you experience in life. It is far more powerful than the external circumstances or the material wealth you think you need. When you truly grasp this, you realize that money, possessions, or status are not the ultimate keys to unlocking your desires. Instead, it is the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold within your mind that shape the reality around you. Your imagination is the very essence of creation. It is the place where your reality is born. Consider for a moment that everything in your outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state. The house you live in, the relationships you experience, the job you hold, and even the money you earn are all the outward expressions of the images and feelings you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. When you understand this, you realize that the source of all material circumstances lies within you. The world cannot act independently of the state of your mind. It must conform to the beliefs you hold about yourself and your life. If you constantly imagine yourself limited by a lack of resources or trapped by the need for money, then your world will reflect that very belief. You will find yourself in situations where money feels like a barrier, a restriction that prevents you from living fully. But the moment you shift your focus away from the idea that money controls your life and instead place your attention on the infinite creative power of your imagination, everything changes. You step into a realm where your desires are not dictated by what you think you can afford or by the limitations imposed by the outside world. To live as though money is no object is to fully embrace the idea that what you imagine and feel to be true in your mind will manifest in your life. When you persist in the conviction that your desires are already yours, the material means by which they come into being will reveal themselves effortlessly. It is not your job to worry about how. Your responsibility is simply to live in the state of fulfillment, trusting that the world will rearrange itself to align with the vision you hold in your mind. Your imagination is the master architect of your life, and it holds a power far greater than anything the material world could offer. Scarcity is an illusion that holds many in a grip of fear and limitation, preventing them from realizing the boundless abundance that exists within and around them. The belief that there is not enough, that resources, opportunities, or wealth are limited is deeply ingrained in society, but it is entirely false. The idea of scarcity is born from a mindset that assumes the outer world dictates what is possible, that wealth is something external, finite, and difficult to attain. However, when you understand the true nature of reality, you see that abundance flows from within, not from the external world. The feeling of lack and limitation stems from identifying yourself with the physical world, with the idea that you are subject to its restrictions. This creates a sense of separation from the infinite source of supply that is always available to you. The truth is that everything you could ever desire already exists in potential form, waiting for you to claim it through your consciousness. Scarcity only exists when you believe in it, when you allow fear and doubt to cloud your perception of the infinite possibilities before you. The moment you shift your awareness from lack to abundance, the world responds in kind. Most people live their lives seeking wealth, working tirelessly to accumulate more money, more possessions, and more status, thinking that by doing so, they will secure their share of a limited pie. But in this pursuit, they often lose sight of the truth that abundance is not something to be chased. It is something to be realized. The external world cannot give you what you do not first accept within yourself. It is not about how hard you work or how much you struggle. It is about aligning your inner state with the reality of abundance. When you free yourself from the illusion of scarcity, you step into a world of limitless potential. You begin to realize that there is no competition, no lack, and no need to fear. What you desire already exists, and it will come to you naturally when you no longer believe that you are separate from it. By shifting your consciousness to one of abundance, you open the floodgates of prosperity. The outer world is a reflection of your inner beliefs, and when you release the fear of scarcity, you will experience the effortless flow of wealth, opportunities, and fulfillment. Living from the end means shifting your focus entirely to the feeling of already having your desires fulfilled, rather than worrying about how those desires will manifest. This concept is key to understanding how creation works in your life. Most people spend their time and energy focused on the means to achieve their goals, how the money will come, what steps they need to take, or how circumstances must align. They become fixated on the process, forgetting that the process will naturally unfold when they align their consciousness with the end result. To live from the end is to embody the state of already being the person who has what they desire. It means you no longer think about whether something will happen or how it will happen. You move directly to the feeling of it already being so. This mental and emotional state creates a powerful shift within you. Instead of living in doubt, fear, or uncertainty, you live in the certainty that your desire is already yours. The outer world, which is merely a reflection of your inner state, must conform to this new belief. When you live from the end, you understand that the how is not your concern. The mind that is constantly worrying about how something will happen is operating from a place of lack and disbelief. But when you focus on the end, on the feeling of already having your desires, you are operating from a place of fulfillment. This shifts your entire energy, and the world responds by bringing into your experience the circumstances, people, and events that align with your new state of mind. The means to your desires will naturally present themselves when you are living in the state of the fulfilled end. Think of it like this: if you want to experience wealth, imagine what it feels like to be wealthy now. Live as if the wealth you seek is already in your life. Feel the freedom, the ease, the joy that comes with financial abundance. When you do this, your thoughts, actions, and even the people you encounter will begin to reflect this state of being. The path to wealth, or any other desire, becomes clear when you no longer concern yourself with the details of how it will happen. Living from the end is about faith and conviction, knowing that the world must mirror the state you hold within. What you assume to be true in consciousness will inevitably become true in the physical world. Your inner dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts, conversations, and beliefs you hold within, is the foundation of your reality. It is this inner conversation that shapes the experiences you encounter in your life, whether you are conscious of it or not. Many people go through life unaware of the incredible power of their thoughts and words, believing that their circumstances are dictated by external forces. However, the truth is that your outer world is a direct reflection of what you tell yourself internally. To change your life, you must first change the dialogue within. The thoughts you repeat, whether consciously or unconsciously, form the beliefs that govern your actions, decisions, and ultimately your reality. If your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, then that is what you will see manifested in your life. You might tell yourself that you are not good enough, that success is hard to achieve, or that wealth is reserved for others. These subtle but powerful beliefs become the framework for how you experience the world. They create barriers where none exist, limiting what you believe is possible for you. To shift your reality, you must consciously shift your inner dialogue. Begin by becoming aware of the thoughts and words you are using in your everyday life. Are they in alignment with the life you wish to create, or are they reinforcing the very limitations you want to break free from? When you catch yourself thinking negatively or speaking about lack and failure, stop immediately and replace those thoughts with affirmations of abundance, success, and joy. By doing so, you begin to reshape the mental landscape that defines your life. This is not just about positive thinking, it's about retraining your subconscious mind to accept new beliefs that support your desires. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue or question, it simply takes whatever you impress upon it as truth and reflects it back to you in the form of your experiences. When your inner dialogue shifts to one of empowerment, abundance, and confidence, your subconscious begins to work in harmony with your desires. It brings about the opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with this new way of thinking. Consistency is key. As you persist in affirming the reality you want, you will notice changes in how you feel and how the world responds to you. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will suddenly appear, relationships will transform, and challenges will dissolve. Your inner dialogue is the silent architect of your destiny. By changing it, you change everything. In conclusion, remember that your life is not bound by external circumstances, nor is it determined by money or material wealth. The true source of creation lies within you. Your imagination, beliefs, and inner dialogue shape your world. When you free yourself from the illusion of scarcity and live from the end, embodying the feeling of already having your desires, the means will naturally align to bring them into your experience. Shift your inner dialogue to reflect abundance, success, and fulfillment, and the outer world will mirror these new truths. Thank you for allowing yourself to explore this deeper understanding of reality. Trust in the power within you and watch as your life transforms. This is why you must stop wasting your time chasing things outside of yourself, thinking that they will bring you fulfillment. Every time you do so, you are abandoning your power. When you focus your energy on external circumstances, you give away the one thing that can truly change your life, your inner awareness. By turning inward, by becoming deeply conscious of your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions, you reclaim this power. You begin to understand that nothing outside of you has the power to control your life unless you give it that power. The key to creating the life you desire lies in this understanding: you are the creator of your experience. No one and nothing outside of you can dictate your life unless you allow it. The power to shape your reality is entirely in your hands, or more precisely, in your mind. Every time you focus your attention inward, every time you choose to be aware of your thoughts and to align them with the vision of the life you desire, you are taking a step toward true mastery. This is the power of inner awareness. It is the realization that everything you need is already within you, waiting to be acknowledged and brought into the light of your consciousness. In this inner realm, there are no limits. The only limits that exist are those you impose upon yourself through doubt, fear, or a misunderstanding of your own power. When you let go of these limitations and focus on the infinite potential within, you will find that the world around you transforms. It must, for it is merely the shadow cast by the light of your inner awareness. The more you nurture this awareness, the more your outer reality will reflect the abundance, peace, and joy that already reside within you. Your consciousness is the foundation of everything you experience in life. What you perceive as reality is not something independent of you, standing outside of your awareness. It is, in fact, a projection of your inner state, your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. The world you encounter is molded by the nature of your consciousness, which acts as a lens through which reality is filtered and understood. Therefore, if you wish to change your life, it is not the external circumstances you must alter, but the state of consciousness from which those circumstances arise. Most people live under the illusion that the world exists separately from them, that events unfold independently, and that they are at the mercy of external forces. They believe that life happens to them, not through them. This belief keeps them stuck in a cycle of reacting to the world, rather than shaping it. But the truth is, your consciousness precedes every event, every encounter, and every experience. It is the cause, and the world is the effect. When you grasp this, you begin to see that you are far more powerful than you may have realized. Your consciousness shapes your reality, and nothing exists in your life without first existing in your mind. The process is simple. What you consistently focus on, believe in, and assume to be true, eventually manifests in your physical experience. If you constantly dwell on lack, fear, or limitation, those thoughts will be reflected back to you in the form of challenging or restrictive circumstances. Your world will seem full of barriers. and you will encounter situations that reinforce your beliefs. On the other hand, if you focus on abundance, peace, and possibility, these qualities will be mirrored in the world around you. Life will seem full of opportunities, and you will attract experiences that support your sense of well-being. This is not to suggest that everything in life is easy or without struggle. However, your perception of those struggles and the meaning you assign to them arises from your consciousness. A person who sees the world as a place of growth and potential will approach challenges as opportunities to learn and evolve. Someone who views the world through the lens of fear or scarcity will see the same challenges as insurmountable obstacles. The events may be the same, but the experience of them differs entirely because it is shaped by the individual's consciousness. This truth can be both empowering and daunting. It means that you are never a victim of your circumstances, but it also means that you are always responsible for your experience. It calls for self-awareness and a deliberate choice to direct your thoughts and beliefs toward what you want to experience. When you realize that your consciousness is the creative force behind your life, you understand that you have the power to shift your reality by shifting your inner world. This is the essence of mastery, not controlling the external world, but controlling your inner state so that the outer world naturally aligns with it. The more consistently you maintain a consciousness of abundance, love, and fulfillment, the more these qualities will appear in your life. It may not happen instantly, but over time, as your consciousness becomes more aligned with what you desire, reality will follow suit. In this way, your consciousness is like a magnet. It draws to you experiences that match its vibration. If you focus on lack, you will attract lack. If you focus on abundance, abundance will find its way to you. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or mere optimism. It is the natural law by which reality operates. Your consciousness shapes your reality in every moment, whether you are aware of it or not. Therefore, to change your life, begin by changing the way you think, feel, and believe about the world and about yourself. Reality will follow. One of the greatest traps that many fall into is the need for external approval. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek validation from others, whether it be from parents, teachers, friends, or society at large. We are taught to believe that our worth is determined by how others perceive us, and we begin to measure our success, happiness, and sense of self based on external standards. But this pursuit of approval is a never-ending cycle that leads to emptiness and frustration, for the validation we seek from others is fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. When you seek approval from the outside world, you are giving away your power. You are allowing others to dictate how you feel about yourself, and in doing so, you lose sight of your own inherent worth. No matter how much approval or praise you receive, it is never enough, because the void you are trying to fill cannot be filled by external sources. The opinions of others are constantly shifting, and what is valued by society today may be discarded tomorrow. If you base your sense of self on such unstable foundations, you will forever be chasing something that is beyond your control. To let go of the need for external approval is to reclaim your power. It is to understand that your worth does not come from outside of you but from within. You are already whole and complete, just as you are, and no amount of praise or criticism can change that. The more you rely on external validation, the more you disconnect from your true self. But when you turn inward and align with your own values, desires, and sense of purpose, you no longer need the approval of others to feel worthy. This does not mean that you should ignore feedback or refuse to consider the perspectives of others. However, it does mean that you must prioritize your inner voice above all else. The opinions of others can serve as guidance, but they should not dictate your self-worth or determine the direction of your life. When you let go of the need for approval, you become free to live authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right for you, rather than what will please others or conform to societal expectations. Living for the approval of others is a form of self-betrayal. It means that you are placing more value on the opinions of others than on your own inner knowing. But the truth is, no one else can know what is best for you. Only you can determine your path, and only you can define your worth. When you stop seeking approval from others, you begin to trust yourself more. You learn to listen to your intuition and follow your own inner guidance, and this is where true freedom lies. Letting go of external approval also frees you from the fear of criticism. When you are no longer dependent on the opinions of others, criticism loses power over you. You no longer feel the need to defend yourself or prove your worth, because you know that your value is not contingent upon the approval or disapproval of others. Instead, you can take criticism in stride, using it as an opportunity for growth if it resonates with you, or simply letting it go if it does not. The need for external approval is rooted in a lack of self-acceptance. When you fully accept yourself, with all your strengths and weaknesses, you no longer seek validation from others. You understand that your worth is inherent, and that nothing outside of you can add to or diminish it. This self-acceptance allows you to live authentically, to pursue your dreams without fear, and to experience true freedom. Let go of the need for approval, and you will discover the limitless power that comes from being true to yourself. The power of thought is immense, yet often underestimated. Every thought you think is a form of energy, carrying its own unique vibration that radiates outward and shapes your reality. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are constantly influencing the direction of your life. What you focus on, you bring into your experience. This is why it's often said that energy follows thought. Wherever your thoughts go, your energy flows, and whatever you consistently think about will eventually manifest in some form. Many people are unaware of how their habitual thinking patterns are shaping their lives. They may feel powerless, believing that life just happens to them. However, this is far from the truth. In every moment you are creating your reality through your thoughts. When you dwell on negative thoughts, such as fear, doubt, or lack, you are directing your energy toward those things. As a result, you attract more of the same into your life, more situations that confirm your fears, more experiences that reflect your sense of lack, and more challenges that mirror your inner doubts. When you focus on positive thoughts, thoughts of abundance, love, and possibility, you channel your energy in a direction that supports your growth and fulfillment. You begin to see opportunities where there were once obstacles, and life seems to flow with greater ease and harmony. This is not magic, it is simply the natural law of the universe. Your thoughts set the tone for your reality, and the energy you invest in them determines what you experience. The key to harnessing this power lies in becoming aware of your thoughts. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances and allowing their thoughts to run unchecked. But if you want to change your life, you must first change your thinking. This requires conscious effort and self-discipline. You must begin to monitor your thoughts, catching yourself when you slip into negative or limiting patterns. Once you become aware of these thoughts, you can choose to redirect your focus toward thoughts that align with the life you want to create. This is not to say that you should ignore reality or pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. Rather, it's about understanding that your thoughts are the seeds of your future experience. By consciously choosing to focus on what you want, rather than what you fear or lack, you are planting seeds that will eventually grow into the life you desire. This process takes time and patience, but it is inevitable. The energy you invest in your thoughts will eventually manifest in your reality. It's also important to understand that energy follows thought, not just in terms of individual outcomes, but in the overall quality of your life. If you consistently focus on thoughts of peace, love, and gratitude, you will cultivate a life that reflects those qualities. Your energy will become more harmonious, and you will attract experiences and people that resonate with that vibration. On the other hand, if you are constantly worrying, doubting, or fearing the worst, your energy will reflect that negativity, and you will draw more of the same into your life. The power of thought is a creative force. It is through your thoughts that you shape your reality, for better or worse. The more you can discipline your mind to focus on what you want, rather than what you fear or dislike, the more you will find that life begins to shift in your favor. Your energy will flow in the direction of your dominant thoughts, and your external world will adjust to reflect your inner state. The law of assumption is one of the most powerful principles governing your reality. It states that whatever you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, will manifest in your life. Your assumptions, which are deeply rooted beliefs about yourself and the world, shape your experiences. They are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind, and as you nurture them through thought and feeling, they eventually blossom into the reality you live. The life you experience today is the direct result of the assumptions you've held about yourself and your circumstances. At its core, the law of assumption is about belief and identity. It requires you to adopt a new way of thinking, where you assume the feeling of your desires already being fulfilled. This is not about wishful thinking or mere hope. It is about living from the state of already having what you want. When you assume that something is true, your mind accepts it as fact, and reality begins to shift to reflect that assumption. Your external world is always a mirror of your inner beliefs. If you assume yourself to be abundant, loved, or successful, your world will mold itself to confirm these assumptions. The law works both ways. If you assume yourself to be lacking, unworthy, or powerless, those assumptions will also manifest. The key is to recognize that your assumptions are choices, not fixed realities. Too often, people assume negative things about themselves and their circumstances without realizing the impact these thoughts have. They believe they are victims of external conditions, but in truth, they are simply reinforcing negative beliefs through their assumptions. Once you understand that you have the power to choose your assumptions, you can begin to reshape your life. To apply the law of assumption, you must embody the state of your desired outcome. You don't merely wish for it, you live as though it is already yours. If you desire success, you must assume the role of a successful person. How would you think, feel, and act if you already had the success you seek? You begin to identify with that version of yourself. This shift in consciousness is what creates the pathway for the desired outcome to manifest. When you truly believe something to be true, your actions, thoughts, and emotions naturally align with that belief, and reality follows suit. The process is deceptively simple but requires practice and persistence. The mind is often conditioned by past experiences, making it difficult to adopt new assumptions without effort. However, by repeatedly affirming your desired assumptions and embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you can reprogram your mind to accept a new reality. This is not about forcing change in the external world, it is about internal transformation. The outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state, and when you change your assumptions, the outer world must change to match. What makes the law of assumption so empowering is that it places you in control of your destiny. You are not bound by your past, nor are you limited by current circumstances. Everything begins in your mind, and by changing the assumptions you hold, you change your life. The world, as you experience it, is the result of the assumptions you accept as true. If you desire a different life, you must first assume that different life is already existing within you. The law of assumption is a call to act as if. Act as if you are already the person you want to be. Assume the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors of that version of yourself, and reality will adjust. The power lies in your ability to consistently hold these assumptions, even in the face of current circumstances that seem to contradict them. As you persist in your assumptions, reality will eventually conform. Your life is nothing more than a reflection of what you believe to be true, and through the law of assumption, you can shape that belief into whatever you desire. Self-mastery is the key to true freedom. It is the art of gaining control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions so that you are no longer swayed by external circumstances or fleeting desires. When you achieve self-mastery, you unlock the power to shape your life according to your highest vision, rather than being at the mercy of your surroundings. True freedom does not come from the absence of challenges or difficulties, but from the ability to navigate them with clarity, calm, and confidence, knowing that your inner state is not dictated by the external world. At the heart of self-mastery is self-awareness. You must first become deeply conscious of your thoughts and behaviors, understanding how they shape your reality. Many people live their lives reacting to situations, unaware of the patterns that guide their actions. They become trapped in cycles of frustration, repeating the same mistakes and feeling powerless to change their circumstances. But self-mastery breaks this cycle by putting you in the driver's seat of your own mind. It requires you to observe your thoughts and habits without judgment, to recognize the impulses that lead you astray, and to consciously choose actions that align with your deeper values and desires. This level of awareness enables you to transcend the automatic responses that often control your life. Instead of reacting out of fear, anger, or insecurity, you learn to respond from a place of wisdom and inner peace. You become less influenced by the opinions and judgments of others, as your sense of self is no longer dependent on external validation. This is a crucial aspect of freedom, being free from the need for approval, free from the need to conform to others' expectations. When you master yourself, you discover that the only approval you truly need is your own. Self-mastery also involves discipline, the ability to choose long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. It is the capacity to delay immediate desires in favor of your larger goals and higher purpose. This doesn't mean denying yourself pleasure or joy, but rather being mindful of what truly serves your well-being. With self-discipline, you no longer fall victim to distractions or temptations that lead you off course. You learn to focus your energy on what truly matters, aligning your daily actions with the life you wish to create. This disciplined focus brings a deep sense of freedom, as you are no longer pulled in multiple directions by conflicting desires. One of the greatest rewards of self-mastery is emotional freedom. When you control your emotions, they no longer control you. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather understanding and managing them. You become aware of the triggers that ignite anger, fear, or frustration, and develop the ability to respond calmly and constructively. This emotional intelligence allows you to move through life with greater ease and grace, no longer reactive to the ups and downs of external events. The peace that comes from mastering your emotions is one of the highest forms of freedom. Self-mastery is about living with intention. Instead of being a passive participant in your own life, you take full responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You understand that everything you experience is a reflection of your inner state, and by mastering yourself, you gain the ability to shape your reality. This is true freedom, the freedom to create a life that aligns with your deepest values and desires, the freedom to be at peace regardless of external circumstances, and the freedom to live authentically without fear or doubt. In mastering yourself, you discover that freedom was never something to be attained from the outside. It was always within you, waiting to be realized. Self-mastery is the path to uncovering this inner freedom, enabling you to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true liberation. In conclusion, the journey to true freedom begins with self-mastery. By gaining control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you empower yourself to live with purpose and authenticity. Self-mastery frees you from the need for external validation, emotional reactivity, and the distractions that pull you off course. It allows you to navigate life with clarity and inner peace, knowing that your reality is shaped by your inner state. This path of self-awareness, discipline, and emotional intelligence leads to a life of fulfillment and true liberation. When you feel broken, you are not truly broken. What you experience is but a fleeting moment, a state of mind that has been accepted as your reality. But know this: your current feeling is nothing more than a transient condition. It is not who you are, and it is not who you will be. The feelings you experience in any given moment, no matter how intense or overwhelming, are not the final truth of who you are. They are transient states, passing conditions, shaped by your current perception of reality. To believe that the way you feel right now defines your life is to mistake a temporary state for your ultimate truth. What you feel is merely a reflection of the thoughts and assumptions you have accepted, and as your assumptions change, so will your feelings. Your emotions are the effects, not the causes. When you feel broken, lost, or overwhelmed, it is easy to believe that these feelings are your reality. You may look at your circumstances and think, This is how things are, this is who I am. But the truth is that the way you feel now is not an unchangeable fact. It is a reflection of the state of consciousness you currently occupy. And states of consciousness are fluid. They change as you change your focus and your belief. Feelings are powerful indicators of what you are accepting internally, but they are not permanent. They are momentary expressions of the state of mind you hold. The key to transforming your life is understanding that these feelings do not define your true essence. They are, in fact, the result of what you have assumed to be true about yourself and the world. If you believe that you are powerless or broken, your emotions will mirror that belief. But if you shift your inner dialogue, if you begin to assume that you are whole, complete and powerful, your feelings will change accordingly. You are the creator of your reality, and what you feel in any moment is a direct result of where you place your attention. If you dwell on thoughts of lack, limitation, or defeat, your emotions will follow suit. However, when you direct your attention to thoughts of abundance, peace, and possibility, your feelings will elevate. The world outside of you reflects what you consistently entertain in your inner world. If you remain focused on the idea that your current feelings are temporary, fleeting, and subject to change, you will unlock the power to rise above any emotional state that does not serve you. There is great power in understanding that what you feel right now is not permanent. It allows you to detach from the heaviness of the moment and recognize that you are not stuck. Feelings come and go like waves on the ocean, but you are the vast sea beneath them. The waves may be turbulent for a time, but they will eventually settle. And even when the surface seems stormy, the deeper waters remain calm and unaffected. So too is your true self beneath the temporary storm of emotions. There lies a deep, unshakable core of peace and power. By accepting that your feelings are transient, you reclaim control over your experience. You realize that you are not at the mercy of your emotions, but rather the master of them. When you consciously choose to focus on the truth of your wholeness, rather than the illusion of brokenness, you will begin to feel differently. This shift in feeling is not forced or artificial, it naturally arises from a change in perception. As you believe more deeply in your power to create, your emotions will align with this new belief, and your external world will transform in response. Your current feeling is not your reality, it is simply a reflection of where your attention has been. Shift your attention, and you will shift your feelings. And when you change your feelings, you change the world around you. You are not defined by your circumstances. What happens to you in life, whether it be hardship, success, or anything in between, is not the true measure of who you are. Circumstances are ever-changing, often beyond your control. But your essence, your identity, and your potential are far greater than the conditions you find yourself in at any given moment. To define yourself by your circumstances is to limit yourself to a narrow view of life, failing to see the limitless potential within you. Circumstances are merely a reflection of a state of consciousness, not the cause of it. They are temporary manifestations of your inner beliefs, thoughts, and assumptions. If you find yourself in challenging or painful circumstances, it does not mean you are destined to remain there. It simply means you have, at some level, accepted a state of being that is currently reflected in your external world. But just as circumstances are created by inner states, they can also be changed by shifting those states. One of the greatest misconceptions is that external events and conditions determine who you are. When people experience failure or setback, they often internalize these events, believing that they are failures themselves. They adopt the identity of their circumstances, forgetting that the external world is fluid and changeable. In truth, what happens in the outer world is neutral. It gains meaning only when you assign it one. You may experience difficulty, but that difficulty does not define you unless you allow it to. At any moment, you have the power to rise above your circumstances by changing your perception of yourself. Who you believe you are internally shapes the life you lead externally. The key is to detach your sense of self-worth from what is happening outside of you and anchor it instead in your innate power to create and transform. You are not a victim of circumstances unless you believe yourself to be. When you begin to see yourself as the creator of your reality, you understand that circumstances are malleable, they shift and change as your inner state does. The world may present obstacles, but those obstacles are not meant to define you, they are meant to test and reveal your strength. When you look at circumstances as opportunities for growth, rather than limiting factors, you reclaim your power. Even in the most difficult situations, you are still in control of how you respond. Your response shapes your future, and by maintaining a sense of inner certainty and conviction, you rise above the conditions of the moment. Circumstances are like clouds passing through the sky, they come and go, but they do not alter the vastness of the sky itself. In the same way, the events of your life may appear significant in the moment, but they do not define the entirety of who you are. You are the sky, the constant, the limitless potential, while circumstances are temporary phenomena that will eventually shift. By identifying with your true self, the self is beyond any external condition, you free yourself from the limitations imposed by the world. This understanding liberates you. It allows you to face life's challenges without fear, knowing that they do not dictate your ultimate destiny. You are not bound by the circumstances of the past, nor by those of the present. At any moment, you have the power to rise above them by assuming the state of being that you desire. When you stop letting circumstances define you and instead define yourself from within, the world begins to shift in response. Your true power lies not in the outer world, but in your inner state of consciousness. By changing that inner state, you change your circumstances. No matter what happens in the external world, you are always greater than the conditions that surround you. Recognize your true power, and you will see that you are the master of your circumstances, not the other way around. Is the gateway to transformation and healing, a powerful tool that allows you to transcend your current circumstances and move into a new state of being. What many fail to realize is that healing, whether emotional, mental, or even physical, begins not from external remedies or actions, but from within the mind. The process of healing is intimately tied to your ability to imagine yourself in a different state, to see and feel yourself as whole, healthy and complete. The power to heal is always within you, and imagination is the key that unlocks that power. When you are faced with pain, illness, or emotional distress, it is easy to become consumed by the immediate reality of the situation. Your senses tell you that you are suffering, and your logical mind reinforces this perception. But imagination allows you to move beyond what your senses are showing you. It enables you to picture yourself in a state of perfect health and well-being, even when the outer world suggests otherwise. By engaging your imagination in this way, you begin to shift your inner state, and as your inner state changes, your outer reality must follow. It is the precursor to all change. Before anything can manifest in the physical world, it must first be imagined. This is true of healing as well. When you imagine yourself as healed, you are aligning with a new state of being, one that is not defined by illness, pain, or suffering. This imagined state becomes a blueprint for your subconscious mind, which begins to work toward making this new reality a fact. Your body and your life respond to the images and feelings you consistently hold in your mind. Healing through imagination requires more than just wishful thinking. It requires a deep, sustained belief in the reality of what you are imagining. You must allow yourself to feel, as fully as possible, the emotions and sensations of being in a healed state. This means immersing yourself in the experience of being whole, allowing your mind to dwell on the peace, joy, and vitality that come with healing. As you do this, your body and mind begin to respond in kind, working together to bring about the state you are consistently imagining. The key to this process is persistence. In the face of illness or suffering, it can be difficult to maintain the feeling of being healed, especially when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. But imagination is not bound by the limitations of the present moment. It allows you to move beyond what is and enter into what can be. By persistently imagining yourself as healed, by returning again and again to the state of wholeness in your mind, you begin to create a new reality for yourself. The power of imagination in healing extends beyond the individual mind. It taps into a universal principle, the idea that consciousness shapes reality. When you imagine yourself in a new state, you are not just passively hoping for change, you are actively creating it. The thoughts and images you hold in your mind send out vibrations that affect both your body and the world around you. The energy of your focused imagination begins to attract circumstances, people, and events that support your healing. Imagination transcends the limits of the physical world. It allows you to access a higher realm of possibilities, where healing is not only possible but inevitable. By engaging your imagination, you bypass the obstacles of the present moment and align yourself with a future reality where you are whole and complete. This is the true power of imagination. It not only envisions a different future, but brings that future into the present. Healing is a matter of shifting consciousness. The body, mind, and soul are interconnected, and as you imagine yourself into a state of health, your entire being responds. The key to unlocking this healing is imagination, the ability to see beyond the present condition and to consistently dwell in the reality of the desired state. Through imagination, you hold the power to heal yourself and transform your life. The past, while seemingly fixed and unchangeable, holds far more fluidity than most people realize. Though the events themselves may be over, their influence on your present reality is determined not by what happened, but by how you perceive and remember them. The past lives on in your mind, shaping your beliefs, your assumptions, and your sense of self. By revising your memory of past events, you can alter the impact they have on your present and future. This process of revision is not about denial or escape, but about consciously choosing a new narrative, one that aligns with the life you wish to experience. Every event in your life has been interpreted by your mind, and the meaning you gave it continues to shape your reality. If you've carried memories of failure, disappointment, or trauma, these memories influence how you feel about yourself today. They may lead you to assume that you are destined for more of the same, that the patterns of the past must inevitably repeat in your future. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. The past only has power over you if you continue to give it that power through your beliefs and assumptions. Revision is a powerful tool that allows you to reshape your relationship with the past. By revisiting painful or limiting memories and imagining them differently, you effectively alter their influence on your present. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between an event that happened and an event that is vividly imagined. Therefore, when you revise a past experience, replacing it with a new, empowering version, your subconscious mind accepts this new memory as reality. The emotions and beliefs tied to the original memory dissolve, and you are freed from the limitations they imposed on your life. The key to revision is feeling. You must enter into the revised memory as though it were real, allowing yourself to feel the emotions of the new, imagined event. Suppose you experienced a failure that has haunted you for years. In revision, you would mentally return to that moment and change the outcome. Instead of failure, imagine success. Instead of disappointment, imagine the feeling of triumph and fulfillment. As you do this, immerse yourself fully in the new scene, feeling the emotions as deeply as possible. In this way, the new memory begins to overwrite the old one. The effect of revision is transformative. By changing how you perceive the past, you change your present state of consciousness. The beliefs that once held you back lose their grip, and you begin to operate from a higher, more empowered state of being. The outer world, which always reflects your inner state, will shift to mirror this new consciousness. Circumstances that seem to repeat old patterns of failure or pain will begin to change, aligning with the new reality you have assumed through revision. This process works because time is not linear in the way we often think it is. The past, present, and future are interconnected, all existing in the eternal now. When you revise the past, you are not changing an external sequence of events, but altering the way those events live within you. And because your inner world creates your outer experience, this internal shift brings about real change in your current life. Revision is a practice of liberation. It frees you from the emotional and mental chains of past experiences and allows you to step into the present with a sense of empowerment and possibility. You are no longer bound by what has been but are open to what can be. By shaping your perception of the past, you shape your present and open the door to a future of your own creation. In this way, you reclaim your power as the creator of your reality, transcending the limitations of time and circumstance. Persistence in your assumption is the key to transforming your reality. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner beliefs, and those beliefs are formed and reinforced by the assumptions you consistently hold. An assumption in this context is not just a fleeting thought or wish, but a deeply held conviction that something is true, even if your current circumstances suggest otherwise. When you persistently assume a new reality, whether it's greater health, abundance, love, or success, that assumption, when firmly held, will eventually harden into fact. The power of assumption lies in its ability to bypass the current limitations of your senses. Your senses may show you lack, failure, or struggle, but these external conditions are the result of past assumptions. If you continue to react to the world based on what you see, you will only perpetuate the same reality. But if you choose to assume something different, regardless of what the outer world is currently showing, you begin to shift your inner state. And as your inner state changes, so too must the outer conditions of your life. This process requires persistence, because the physical world often takes time to catch up with your new assumptions. When you first adopt a new belief, your external reality may not immediately reflect it. This is where many people falter. They assume something new for a brief time, but when they don't see immediate evidence of change, they revert to their old ways of thinking. They abandon their new assumption, and in doing so, they allow the old patterns to continue. The key to success is to persist in the new assumption, no matter how much the outer world resists or seems unchanged. Persistence does not mean effort or struggle. It simply means holding firm to your new assumption, refusing to be swayed by appearances. You must live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, acting as though what you desire is already yours. This requires discipline, as the temptation to fall back into old patterns of thought can be strong. But with persistence, the new assumption becomes a natural part of your consciousness. It starts to feel normal and true, even before any external evidence appears. As you persist, the new assumption begins to take root in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind governs much of your life experience, and it operates based on the beliefs you impress upon it. When a new assumption is consistently held, the subconscious accepts it as reality, and from there it starts to manifest in your external world. This is why persistence is so critical. The subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only responds to what you repeatedly assume to be true. Over time, as you persist in your new assumption, the outer world will begin to shift. Circumstances will rearrange themselves to align with your inner state. People, events, and opportunities will appear that support the reality you have assumed. It may not happen overnight, but with persistence, the change becomes inevitable. This is the law of assumption in action. What you consistently believe and feel will eventually materialize in your physical world. The beauty of this process is that it puts the power back in your hands. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances, waiting for the world to change so that you can feel better or achieve your desires. Instead, you realize that by changing your assumptions, you change everything. Persistence in this practice allows you to transcend the limitations of your current reality and create a life that reflects your deepest desires. By holding firm to your new assumption and refusing to be discouraged by appearances, you set the stage for profound transformation. The world may not change immediately, but if you persist, it will. Your assumptions are the seeds of your future, and with persistence, they will grow into the reality you wish to experience. You are always in control of your experience, regardless of the circumstances that unfold around you. This control is not about manipulating external events or forcing situations to conform to your desires. Rather, it is about the power you possess over your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. Your experience of life is shaped by your internal state, and you hold the reins of that internal state at all times. By recognizing this truth, you empower yourself to navigate life's challenges with confidence and intention. The world often presents a myriad of situations that may seem beyond your control: difficult relationships, financial struggles, health issues, and unexpected setbacks. In the face of such challenges, it's easy to feel like a victim of circumstances, believing that external factors dictate how you feel and respond. However, this perspective overlooks the fundamental truth that your reactions, beliefs, and interpretations of these situations are entirely within your control. It is your thoughts about what is happening, rather than the events themselves, that define your experience. The key to exercising control over your experience lies in understanding that your thoughts create your reality. Every moment, you have the opportunity to choose how you interpret what is happening around you. For instance, two people may experience the same event, but their responses can be drastically different based on their individual perspectives. One person may see a setback as a failure, while another may view it as an opportunity for growth. The difference lies in their internal dialogue and the assumptions they hold about themselves and the world. By consciously choosing your thoughts and interpretations, you can shift your experience from one of limitation to one of empowerment. To take control of your experience, you must first become aware of your thoughts and beliefs. This awareness allows you to identify negative or limiting patterns that may be holding you back. Once you recognize these patterns, you can begin to challenge and replace them with more empowering beliefs. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'll never be successful," you can consciously shift that thought to, "I am capable of achieving my goals," and "I am constantly learning and growing." This shift in thought not only changes how you feel in the moment, but also alters the trajectory of your life. Maintaining control over your experience requires mindfulness and emotional regulation. Life will inevitably present challenges that trigger strong emotions: fear, anger, frustration, or sadness. It's essential to acknowledge these emotions without allowing them to dictate your actions or beliefs. You have the power to pause, breathe, and choose how to respond to these feelings. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to reflect on what you want to achieve and how you can best navigate the situation. By doing so, you assert control over your emotional landscape, allowing you to respond with intention rather than reactivity. Another critical aspect of this control is the practice of visualization and positive affirmation. Imagining the outcomes you desire and affirming your ability to achieve them helps to reinforce a sense of control. Visualization allows you to see yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and living the life you wish to create. These mental images not only inspire hope, but also train your subconscious mind to align with your desired reality. When you persistently visualize your goals and affirm your capabilities, you program your mind to seek opportunities and solutions that support your vision. Recognizing that you are always in control of your experience is a profound realization that shifts your relationship with life. You become the creator of your reality, empowered to shape your experiences through your thoughts, beliefs, and responses. No matter what challenges arise, you can approach them with a mindset that asserts your agency. This understanding not only enhances your resilience, but also fosters a sense of peace and confidence in navigating the uncertainties of life. By taking control of your internal landscape, you open the door to a richer, more fulfilling experience, one that aligns with your true desires and potential. In conclusion, the journey of self-discovery and transformation begins with the profound understanding that you hold the power to shape your own reality. By recognizing that your imagination, assumptions, and thoughts play a crucial role in defining your experiences, you can break free from the limitations imposed by past circumstances and external situations. Embracing persistence in your assumptions allows you to create a new narrative for your life, one that reflects your true desires and aspirations. Remember that you are always in control of your experience, and by harnessing this control, you can navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. Thank you for taking the time to engage with these ideas. May you continue to empower yourself and create a life that aligns with your highest potential.